Hey guys, welcome back to the Poke Master Slayer YouTube channel, and today I have an amazing overpowered deck. And like I told y'all yesterday, I was making this deck. So this is the Solgaleo deck that I've had in my deck list area, and I relocated where my deck list was, and I was like, oh, there it is. And this deck is so insane. It puts out damage, and a lot of people don't expect this card these days. And honestly, the theme deck is so worth your money if you ever buy it. Buy two of them, you'll be set. So let's get into this deck. So since y'all already know, like I told y'all, it's a Solgaleo deck. So if you're gonna have a Solgaleo deck, I run 3 copies of the regular Solgaleo, and this Solgaleo has 160 HP, really nice 3 retreat cost, and its weakness is fire, which is kind of bad because there are fire decks coming back into the meta ever since like metal decks have been kicking up, but also since Buzzwole Garb has been going around, fire decks have died down as well. So this is a great time for metal to kind of pop up. And for one fire, for 1 metal energy and a colorless energy, Shining Arrow. This attack does 50 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon. So basically, he has a little mini sniper on him, and so he's like, oh, I think I see a Shrubbish back there. But bam! Shrubbish took 50 damage. Well, Shrubbish has 70 HP, so if you don't want to deal with Garb, basically you Shining Arrow, and then whenever they evolve into Garbodor, Garbodor has up to, I think it was 120 HP, 130 HP, but make sure to shine, like you can keep, like, Shining Arrow helps take care of those Garbodors. So yeah. So for 2 metal and a colorless energy, Fangs of the Suni or Suna does 170 damage, and the good thing is, this Pokemon can't use Fangs of the Suni during your next turn. So, since if it said this Pokemon can't attack during your next turn, you couldn't do this. But since it says you can't use a certain attack, if it's in your active and you use that attack, all you have to do is retreat it and send it back out to the active, and then it can use its attack, Fangs of the Suni, again. So you could constantly send out 170 damage. Plus, we have lots of ways to buff that damage. Well, we have only one way to buff it, because that's how the deck list was. So yeah, and this deck won me lots of leagues. That's it for those. And then I run 2 copies of Solgaleo GX with the ability Ultra Road. Once during your turn, you may switch your active Pokemon with one of your benched. This ability works well with this, especially if you have like a float stone attached to this. All you have to do is retreat it, and then, or you could just have promote another one. But basically, Solgaleo GX is there to help switch out your active with one of your benched, or just send this guy out to active, because he has a wonderful attack for 2 steel and a colorless. Sunsteel Strike does 230 damage. The max damage we could do in this deck with this attack is 250, to where it knocks out everything except for a Wailord with a dumb fighting Fury Belt. Once again, what is with Wailord? But yeah, and then for 1 steel energy, the Soul Burst GX, search your deck up to 5 of any energies you want and attach them to your Pokemon. But the only sad thing is, we don't run special energies. Womp 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 womp. Don't get this deck sad, because this deck is amazing. It's so overpowered. But Soul Burst GX can help you if you get it up your second turn. You can set up a lot of your other Solgaleos, and this one if you need it, but most of the time you're going to be setting up these, or Cosmogs, your Nebbies. And it has 3 retreat costs, weakness to fire, and resistance to psychic the same. And yeah, 2 copies. Then, of course, if you're going to have the Solgaleos, we run 4 copies of Cosmog or Nebby, whichever order you prefer. And we run no copies of Cosmoem because we don't have the room for it. But if you find room in this deck, whatever you do with it, it's your choice. You change up this deck list completely. But this deck has won me many leagues, and also has won me a tournament. It's very good. I run 2 copies of Delphim. I don't know how to say this, but it's Delphimise, something. I don't know. But the ability, Steel Worker, your Steel Pokemon's attacks do 10 more damage. And we run 2 copies. You want both copies on your bench at all times to where your, like I said, your Sunsteel, your Fangs of the Sunny could do 190 now, and Sunsteel Strike could do 250, to where you can set up those one shots. And also, if you want to, you can also put Choice Bands in here, just in case you run into like Zoroark GX or Gliscopod, all those, which you will. You can make it to where you can knock them out in one hit. But I had to sacrifice my 2 Choice Bands back then, but I'm thinking about putting those back in. But it has 2 retreat costs, and yeah, really good. 1 copy of Oranguru with Banana Master, 1 copy of Banana Master. Go, I'm being serious, y'all. Go check Dark Integral's channel out. He's amazing, and you'll love him. Trust me. And the Pokemon Evolutionaries. Instruct, once in your turn, he may if you have less than 3 cards in your hands, he'll give you 2 more bananas, or 3 more bananas, or 1 more banana if needed. And then for 3 colorless energy, Psychic does 60 plus. This attack does 20 more damage. If it did 6 more damage, oh my gosh, everyone would be using this. Does 20 more damage times the amount of energy attached to your opponent's active Pokemon. So it's a decent attacker, just in case you just, like, if you run into, what deck? Gardevoir. If you run into Gardevoir GX, this would be a great attacker to use. But since Gardevoir is weak to metal, most likely you're not going to be using this. You're going to be using Solgaleo. And it has 2 retreat costs. And its weakness to fighting, so it kind of sucks if you run into a Buzzwole. And then run 1 copy of Magearna from, oh my gosh, what's it? Ultra Prism. With the ability where you can change clothes. Once during your turn, you may put a Pokemon Tool card attached to one of your Pokemon back into your hand. This is to where we can swap up. You could, if you put Choice Bands in here, you can swap them with the Float Stones or Wishful Baton. Because I run Wishful Batons in here, and I'll get to that shortly. And it has 1 retreat cost. That's sweet. And has 90 HP. It's a basic too, so it's really nice. That's the end of the Pokemon line. Let's go to supporters. Supporter line is quite easy. So run 3 copies of Cynthia. So Shuffle Power. 2 copies of Sycamore, because since this is just a normal deck, we could discard stuff. 2 copies of Pokemon Fan Club. The reason why I don't run Bridget is because, honestly, Pokemon Fan Club doesn't instantly put them onto your bench. You can actually search your deck out, and then you can keep them in your hand until you want to. So that is really decent. You can put Bridget in here if you want. It's your choice. It doesn't matter, Bridget or Pokemon Fan Club. I just prefer Pokemon Fan Club. Run 2 copies of Guzma. Yes, guys, they are Guzmas. I know y'all gonna be... I know y'all just hating on it. They're Guzmas. Yeah, the Guzmas. Now we're in 1 Acerola, to where, since Solgaleo, the regular Solgaleo has 160 HP, to where it's harder, that's an average stage 2, but if your opponent gets close to knocking it out, you could pick it back up, or Solgaleo GX, which has 250, to where your opponent has to either 2-shot it, or 1-shot it, or 3-shot it. If they have to 3-shot it, you better pick it up with this Acerola, because, man, it will make your opponent so mad. But it's so good at the same time, to where you can just pick up a damaged Pokemon and put it back into your hand with all the cards. And yeah, that's our supporter lineup. On to items. Now, okay, let's get into this. Run 4 copies of Rare Candy, because we want to evolve into our Solgaleos. We run 4 copies of Ultra Ball to search your deck out for Pokemon. Run 4 copies of Max Elixir, because we want to be able to set up our Solgaleos on the first turn we get them out, to where we can use them. So yeah, this is very sweet. And then I run 4 copies of Puzzle of Time. Like I said, it's a great card. You play 2 of them, you get any 2 cards you want out of your discard pile. If you play 1, you just look at the top 3 cards of your deck, which is kind of trash. Unless you're stuck and you just have to. That's kind of sad if you just have to play 1. But playing both gets back any 2 cards you want. Yeah. Then I run 2 copies of Palpad, to where you shuffle back 2 supporter cards for your discard pile back into your deck. So shuffle back those Cynthias and stuff, to where we could get back our Sycamores and Guzmas and Acerolas, whatever you need. And we have 2 copies of Floatstone, to where we have free retreat on anything we have. So yeah, very sweet. And we run 2 copies of Wishful Baton, to where if our Pokemon gets knocked out, okay, here it is. If the Pokemon this card is attached to is your active and is knocked out by damage from an opponent's attack, move up to 3 basic energy cards from that Pokemon to your bench. So this is really good for especially the Solgaleo with the Fangs of the Sunny, because you can't, like, once it dies, those energies go straight to the discard pile. But if you have one of these attached, and good thing is, between Floatstone, with the Magearna in here with the change clothes, we could pick up the Floatstone attached to Wishful Baton whenever we want to. So it's kind of a win-win situation, to where your opponent gets something and you get something back. But you have another Solgaleo set up instantly. So that is very good. And you don't have to be freaking out. Even if it gets Field Blowered, it's not that much of a problem. We run a Field Blower of our own, to where we could get rid of annoying Garbodors. And plus, with Puzzle Time, we could play it again if needed. And then get rid of stadiums as well. And then one copy of Rescue Stretcher. Because sometimes your Solgaleos they kick the bucket for a few moments, but then you could come in and be like, not today, nah, not today, not. Okay, I'm just gonna stop right there. But put a Pokemon card from your discard pile back into your hand straight, or shuffle 3 Pokemon from your discard pile into your deck, which that is a very good option. But sometimes this one's really good if you have a rare candy in your hand and you have a Nebby on your bench, or Cosmog for those new players. A lot of people like calling them Nebbies, just for your information. But yeah. Rescue Stretcher, 1 copy. Onto energies and stadiums. Run 1 copy of Mount Coronet, because Mount Coronet is just here just in case you're being forced to discard those energies of yours, and during your turn, you could pick up 2 Steel Energies out of your discard pile. And the good thing is, if you're playing an expanded format, this even includes Shield Energies, which is very sweet. Yeah, very good. And your opponent can do it as well. So yeah. In our energy count, we run 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 metal energies. And guys, this is my Solgaleo deck profile. Tell me what you guys think about it down in the comments below. What would you like and for in the near future, and deck profiles y'all would like to see. And this is the Pokemaster Slayer signing off. Bye-bye. Yeah.